Part 1. Keeping your mind sharp after 50. Hello there, if you're watching this video. I'm guessing you're like many of my patients, people who are entering or have passed the age of 50 and are starting to notice small changes. Their body, in their memory, and in how they experience life. Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you went in there? Or you're telling a story, then pause mid-sentence trying to recall the name of someone you know so well, but that name just hovers out of reach? If that's you, you're not alone. I've heard these questions hundreds of times from people just like you, active, joyful, full of life, yet quietly wondering, is my memory slipping away? Is there a way to keep my mind sharp? I'm here to tell you, yes, and it's simpler than you think. Keeping your mind sharp isn't about taking supplements or passing IQ tests. It comes down to one simple truth. Are we still using our minds? Truly using them every day? Not just scrolling through emails or phones, but really exercising. The brain, the way we work out our legs or arms. I remember one of my patients, Martha, 70 years old, from Minnesota. After retirement, she began to forget little things. Not serious, but enough to make her uneasy. We didn't rush into medications. Instead, I suggested she try waking up her brain each day. She began reading every morning, sometimes a novel, sometimes just the local newspaper. She played crossword puzzles, took a beginner Spanish class at the community center. 3 months later, she came back and said with a smile, "Doctor, my mind feels so much clearer. It's like I opened a window and let my brain breathe." You see, memory is like a garden. If we neglect it, weeds take over. But with patience, watering it, weeding it, planting new seeds, that garden can bloom for a lifetime. Watering the brain isn't just about books. It's in those long chats with old friends. It's learning how to use a new phone. It's retelling an old memory to your grandchild. Every time you use your brain with focus and curiosity, you're building a powerful defense against cognitive decline. And science agrees. Research from the University of Exeter and King's College London shows that older adults who regularly engage in mental activities through games, reading, or learning have better memory and faster thinking. And the best part? It's never too late to start. I know there are days when you're tired, days when you think, my learning years are behind me. But the truth is, this moment, when life has slowed down a bit, when you have time to reflect, is the perfect time to care for your mind like an old friend you've almost forgotten. Picture this. You're 85 years old, and you still remember the first song you danced to with the one you love. You still remember your mother's stew recipe. You still remember the names of your best friends who walked through the seasons of life with you. That's not magic. That's the result of small choices you start making today. So, where will you begin? A page from a book? A round of Sudoku? A story told to someone you love? Your brain, your memory, your identity, your life story deserves your attention. And I believe you can do this. Not despite your age, but because you're alive, and there's still so much life to live. Part 2. Keeping your muscles strong. I want you to think back. When was the last time you stood up from the sofa? Was it easy? Did you have to push off with your hands, or lean forward to gain momentum? Have you ever climbed a flight of stairs and noticed your legs weren't as steady as they used to be? If you're nodding right now, I have something important to share. You see, most people think we grow weaker just because we grow older. But as a doctor, let me tell you the truth. We grow weaker because we lose muscle. Boss, what science calls sarcopenia doesn't happen all at once. It starts quietly in our 40s and speeds up after 60. I've seen this firsthand in my patient Alan, 74 years old. One day he slipped lightly at the grocery store. He didn't break any bones, but that small fall left him shaken. "I just don't feel as confident as I used to, Doc," he told me. "We didn't go for medication. There's no magic pill for strength. Instead, we went for the simplest movements. Wall push-ups, kitchen counter squats, lifting water bottles like dumbbells. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day. 3 months later, Alan came back walking more steadily. He told me something I'll never forget. Now I can stand up without grabbing the armrest. It feels like I've gotten myself back. Isn't just about muscles. It's the power to get up on your own, to pick up your grandchild, to open a car door without hesitation. When you lose strength, You don't just lose physical ability, you lose a part of your freedom. And the best part, you can regain that strength. No gym required, no personal trainer. You just need to start a few gentle squats in the morning. Stretch while waiting for the kettle to boil, lifting your arms with a water bottle during the news. Not to become an athlete, but to keep living fully. Research from the U.S. National Institute on Aging shows just 2 strength training sessions a week can increase bone density, reduce your risk of falling, improve posture, and even boost your mood. Because when your body feels strong, you walk with more confidence. And when you feel confident, you don't shy away from life. You step into it. I won't pretend every day will be easy. Some days your back might ache. Some days you won't feel like it. Some days you'll think, I'm too old for this. But remember this, aging is natural. Weakening is a choice. I want you to picture this. You, at 80, still cooking your own meals, still walking into the garden, still holding the door open for others. No hand to lean on, no cane to depend on. Just you, strong, independent, living life on your own terms. That future doesn't come from luck or good genes. It comes from small movements you make right now, today. And if you're sitting there thinking, I've never worked out before, and let me tell you what I told Alan, that's okay. You just need to start, whether it's today or tomorrow. But don't wait too long. Part 3. Social connection, the forgotten medicine of old age. There's something I've come to realize after more than 30 years as a doctor. People don't just grow old because of illness. They grow old because of loneliness. Loneliness doesn't make a sound. It doesn't knock you over all at once. But it eats away bit by bit, making your heart heavier, your sleep more shallow, and even your memories start to fade. I once had a patient named Caroline, 76 years old, living in Arizona. Her husband had passed away early. Her children lived far away. She told me, I'm used to it. Being alone is okay. But then she started having trouble sleeping. Her blood pressure rose. She became forgetful. When we ruled out medical causes, one thing stood out. She simply wasn't talking to anyone much anymore. I suggested something small. Join a local book club at the library. Just 1 meeting a week. That's it. A few months later, Caroline came back beaming. Doctor, she said, I can't remember the last time someone called my name with joy. ... Now, every week, someone's waiting for me. Do you see connection? Doesn't just feed the soul, it heals the body too. Science backs this up. Older adults with strong social ties experience slower cognitive decline, lower rates of depression, and even live up to 7 years longer on average. Now, I know you might be thinking, I don't have many friends left. My family's busy. The grandkids have their own lives. But here's what I want you to know. Connection doesn't have to mean a crowd. Sometimes, it's just one person who really listens, someone to share a lunch with, take a short walk in the park, or simply text, how are you today? Did you ever notice this? One heartfelt conversation, a gentle hug, a warm glance, can melt away the weariness of an entire day. That's because when we connect, the body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It lowers stress, boosts immunity, and calms the heart. I'm not saying you need to go out every single day, but I do hope you won't shrink into silence, because long-term loneliness can shrink your world into a closed room where memories fade, joy dries up, and the heart grows fragile. So where can you begin? Maybe it's calling an old friend, joining a church group, volunteering at the local library, or simply chatting with your neighbor while watering the plants. If you use a smartphone, try FaceTiming your grandkids every weekend. Seeing each other's faces, even for a few minutes, can warm the whole day. You don't have to be the most outgoing person. You just have to be brave enough to open your heart again, because in the years after 60, what keeps us truly healthy isn't just medicine, food, or exercise. It's the feeling that we are seen, remembered, and still matter. Please remember this. Old age is not meant to be a lonely journey. You weren't born to live alone. You were born to share, to be heard, to love, and to be loved. If this part made you think of someone, an old friend, a family member you haven't called in a while, pick up the phone when this video ends. Say, hey, been thinking. About you, you might be surprised. They may have been waiting for that call too. Part 4. Keeping your muscles strong, the foundation of freedom in old age. I want you to think back for a moment. When was the last time you stood up from the sofa? Was it easy? Did you have to push yourself up with your hands or lean forward to get some momentum? Have you ever climbed stairs and felt your legs weren't as steady as they used to be? If you're nodding, I have something important to share. You see, we don't grow old because of age. We grow old because we lose muscle. Quietly, the body starts to take back the very parts that once helped you walk with ease. Lift things effortlessly, or stand tall throughout the day. And then, one day, you start avoiding little things, not wanting to walk too far, not wanting to bend down, not wanting to climb stairs, not because you're lazy, but because you don't feel steady anymore. This condition has a name: sarcopenia, the loss of muscle due to aging. It begins as early as your 40s and speeds up after 6OL. If we do nothing. But here's the good news: you can slow it down. Even reverse it. No gym, no heavy weights, no expensive equipment. Just a few intentional movements every day. I'll never forget the story of Alan, 74, a retired mailman from North Carolina. One day he tripped in the supermarket. It wasn't serious, but his doctor said clearly, "Alan, if you don't start exercising, the next fall could be the last time you stand up on your own." That scared him, and he decided to change. Not with grueling workouts. Started with simple moves, standing up and sitting down from a chair 5 times each morning. Wall push-ups, just 10 reps. Lifting a water bottle as a dumbbell while watching TV. 3 months later, Alan came back to the clinic, standing taller, eyes brighter. "Now I can get out of my chair without leaning forward," he said with a proud smile. You see, strength doesn't come from the gym. It comes from consistency. Science has proven it. Just 2 strength training sessions per week can significantly reduce your risk of falling, increase bone density, and even lower the risk of death from chronic illnesses. And it's not just about the body. When you feel strong, you feel confident, capable. You don't have to call someone to reach for something on a high shelf. You're not afraid to step outside in case you fall. You feel ready to walk, climb stairs, hug your grandkids, and live like yourself again. Do you remember what it feels like to do things on your own without asking for help? That is freedom. And healthy muscles, even just a little bit stronger, are the foundation of that freedom. I'm not asking you to work out for an hour every day. Just start today with a few minutes of gentle stretching, a few chair squats, some slow arm lifts while waiting for the water to boil. Each movement is a message you send to your body. I'm still here. I'm not giving up. And if one day you feel discouraged, remember this: no step is ever too small. If it leads you toward a healthier life, you don't exercise to get the body you had at 30, you exercise to keep your strength, your independence, and your dignity. So today, what can you do? Maybe just stand up from your chair using only your legs, no hands. That alone, it's a small victory. Part 5. Deep sleep, the forgotten gift of aging. Do you remember the last time you had a truly deep sleep? A night when you didn't toss and turn? You didn't wake up at 2 a.m. to check the clock? You didn't drift in and out of dreams only to wake up feeling drained? I ask not to make you sad, but because I know good sleep has become a luxury for many people after the age of 50. I once had a patient named Michael, 67 years old, from Colorado. He hadn't slept through a full night in 5 years, a few hours. Here and there, then awake. His mind would race, heart pound, and the next day he felt like a ghost in his own life. He once told me, "I'm not myself anymore. I'm losing my memory, my patience, even my joy, the part of me that used to smile for no reason." We didn't start with sleeping pills. We started with one simple principle: honor sleep as a sacred part of health, because sleep isn't just the time your eyes are closed. It's your body's restoration factory. When you sleep deeply, your brain clears out waste-removing toxins that build up during the day, including plaques linked to memory loss. Sleep balances your hormones, strengthens immunity, regulates blood sugar, and most importantly heals your emotional wounds. I often describe sleep as a quiet carpenter in the night, silently repairing the cracks in your body's home. So many of us ignore this gentle worker. We bring our phones to bed. We leave the lights on. We eat dinner late. And we push ourselves to watch just one more episode. Have you ever done that? If you have, I want to share a few habits that have helped hundreds of my patients rediscover deep sleep without medication. First, treat sleep like an important appointment, like seeing your doctor. Set a regular bedtime, even on weekends. Second, turn off screens at least 1 hour before bed. Instead, read a paper book, listen to soft music, or write a few lines in a journal to quiet your mind. Third, keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Your body needs clear signals that say, it's time to rest. Michael did all of that. He changed his bedroom lighting to a warm amber tone. No phone after 8 p.m., he listened to brainwave relaxation music before bed. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "Doctor, I slept through the night for the first time in 5 years." And the next morning, I smiled naturally. I hadn't felt that in so long, you see. When we're young, sleep comes naturally. But as we age, sleep becomes a skill. Skill we must relearn with patience, small changes, and a little love for the body we've carried for decades. I know there will still be nights when you toss and turn, nights when your mind feels tangled. But you're not alone. You can learn to sleep again. Just like learning to love yourself again, after years of forgetting how. Let tonight be a gift. Turn off the lights. Turn off your worries. Take a deep breath. Whisper to yourself, I deserve a peaceful night's sleep. Part 6. Start with one small thing, because life after 50 is still too beautiful to miss. I want you to sit back, take a deep breath, and think about this. If there were only one habit from this video you could start, what would it be? A morning walk? Adding more greens to your dinner? Listening to soft music before bed? Calling an old friend? Whatever it is. Just one small action sends a powerful message to your body and soul. I still care. I still want to live well. I still want to live fully. You know, I've walked alongside hundreds and maybe thousands of patients over 50. I've seen people lose their health, memory, and joy, simply because they believed it was too late to change. But I've also seen others at 65, 70, even 82, learn to breathe deeply, try meditation, pick up the guitar, start gardening. Not to become experts, but to feel alive again. I still remember Linda, 72, who began painting after she retired. She wasn't good. Her first paintings were messy, unbalanced. But she laughed. She painted a little each day. Then one day she came to my clinic, proudly holding up a picture. She said, I painted my legs walking through the park. On a Sunday morning, that's it. But you know, doctor, I've never felt my life so full of color. We don't live longer because of miracles. We live longer and deeper because of the simple things we repeat every day. A colorful meal, a warm phone call, a stretch in the morning, a page of a book, a peaceful sleep. A friend who knows you're still there. Well, I want you to remember this. No matter how old you are, it's never too late to begin. You don't have to change your whole life. Just one habit, one thought, one step. I'm a doctor. But today, I'm not just speaking to you as a professional. I'm speaking to you as someone entering my 60s too. Someone who's starting to listen to the whispers of the body. Someone who's also learning how to live slower, live deeper, and live more intentionally. If this video awakens something in you, I'm glad, because that means you still want to make the most of every day. So today, start. Not because you want to live forever, but because the years ahead deserve to be lived fully like never before. If this video inspired you, don't hesitate to share it with someone. They might need these words of encouragement. 2. And if you've chosen your one small thing to begin with, write it in the comments. Let's grow stronger together one day at a time.